so I do want to make another video, and this one is going to be about the Q&A. So I am going to be answering 3 total questions tonight. It's going to be a very fun one. We're going to be starting off with Asan's question, then we're going to be moving on to Christian's question, and lastly talk about Darkness PG3D question. So again, it's going to be revolving around the Musiala, Wirtz, like as I can see here. We're also going to be talking about how I got into football in general and why I started supporting FC Barcelona. And then we're also going to be talking about realistically what titles can we win in this season, now knowing that we are 4 points behind Real Madrid. So first things first, before we even get into these questions, I do want to clarify some things about what happened with Gavi, because many have been saying, oh, Gavi's injured, Gavi might not make it for the match against Valencia. We do have some confirmation here coming from Javi Miguel that Gavi is fine. The tests have ruled out any sort of injury, and it was just a scare and nothing more. Hansi Flick also stated that Gavi wanted to continue playing, but it was not his decision. It's the doctor's, and you have to respect it. He's a player who always wants to play, but you have to take care of him. Joan Laporta also stated after the match that Gavi is fine. I just spoke to him and it was a strong blow and he wanted to continue. He's in the hospital still, but he's completely fine. Barcelona fans can rest assured. So that's really good. It's really good to hear that Gavi's okay, because, you know, every time you do go through a head collision, sometimes you feel dizzy, you think you're okay, you think you can continue, but you can't actually, and you just start playing very dizzy. You can't really have conversations with other people, but it seems like Gavi will be okay. And keep in mind that Gavi wanted to continue to play in the match. He's like, no, let me put me back in. I don't care. It's like, I'm fine. And the doctors were like, no. But we have to understand, the reason why Gavi wanted to play so bad is because in the past 3 matches, Gavi has only played in 84 minutes. In the past 3 matches, that's not even a full match, right? He has played 84 minutes. That's not a lot of minutes, and especially for a player who has so much energy, so much, I guess you can say, anxiety on trying to play a football match. Gavi has that type of mentality, and he has only played 84 minutes. So, of course, he wanted to continue. And that's it, right? He played 14 minutes today against Alaves in the last game. He didn't know in the 7-1 win that we had recently. Gavi did not play. He wanted Pablo Torre to go on and to go play for him, and overall, he did not get a lot of minutes. So it's unfortunate, and hopefully we get to see Gavi against Valencia in this upcoming Thursday, and he plays the full 90 minutes because he does deserve it for the football that he does play. Now, let's move on towards the real conversations, right? Let's talk about the questions. Asan Sane has asked, hello, Kevin. I started supporting Barcelona since 2005 in the 2006 season. From that time to now, I always loved Barcelona, and the team is very dear to me. My question is, why should Barcelona waste the money to get Musiala or Wirtz while we have players in La Masia who can play in the positions, these guys can play? Also, when can we see Tony Fernandez in the first team? Because that boy can compete with Jamal and he is the perfect replacement of Jamal. Though all of them are very young and we can't rely on only young players, but I think Barcelona can save money on that part. And so, yeah, it's true, Asan, that I would say that it could be a waste of money. It could be seen as a waste of money to go on for the operation of Musiala or Florian Wirtz, because we have somebody like Tony Fernandez. Tony Fernandez is a 16-year-old or 17-year-old right winger who can also play as an attacking midfielder, plays in the exact same position of Lamine Yamal, and Tony Fernandez is gifted. He is a player that Hansi Flick does bet on, and we should expect to see Tony Fernandez get more game time within these next 2 years. For sure, right? He's still very young, though. That's probably the reason why we haven't seen much of Tony Fernandez. Obviously, if he was as talented as Lamine Yamal, he probably would have had way more minutes today. But because he is, I would just say a level below, that is the reason why Tony Fernandez is with Barca Athletic the majority of the time. It does not mean that he's trash or anything. It's just that Lamine Yamal has set an outrageous standard for himself. So, yeah, I do see Tony Fernandez as a player that is one of the players. He's for sure in the future of Barcelona. But here's the thing. Tony Fernandez, to me, is a right winger more than anything else. And I do think that he can be a great reinforcement to Lamine Yamal and provide the competition on the right side. When I speak about Florian Wirtz and Musiala, I speak about the left wing position, not the right wing position. Yes, Florian Wirtz and Musiala can play on the right wing position, but the majority of the positions that they do take, it is the attacking midfield position, which is the position behind the striker, and also the left wing position. Ideally for me, my proposal is that we should sign either Musiala or Florian Wirtz to reinforce the position on the other side of wherever Tony Fernandez and Lamine Yamal do come from, which is where Rafinha does play at. And I want to see the competition there. Okay, I do want to see the competition there. I do want to see Rafinha get tested because we know Rafinha is really good. But it does not also mean that we cannot test a player. It wouldn't make any sense. I believe that all players should be tested no matter what. And Rafinha has to fall into that category. Having Musiala or Florian Wirtz would be amazing because, like I always say, there is huge German talent coming up, and Germany is for sure going to conquer international football because of their amazing talents. And Barcelona, to me, have to be in a position to take advantage of that. Barcelona has a German coach, and I have always said that when you have a German coach, you can pull German players. We should pull in the correct young players, and that should be either Florian Wirtz or Musiala. I don't see both coming in because it's too much money, too much resources, and I do think that it is going to get overpacked at some point because we still have Daniel Olmo who can play in very similar roles. But I would like to see a future where Barcelona have Musiala on the left and Lamine Yamal on the right side with Dani Olmo in between or Gavi in between. It's a very very gifted position to be in, or it can be Florian Wirtz on the left, Olmo in between, Lamine Yamal, right? So it should be like that. That is how it should be. Like Barcelona need options, we need depth, we need better alternatives, and signing Musiala, Florian Wirtz is very ideal. And signing either one of these two players, Florian Wirtz or Musiala, does not hinder Tony Fernandez and his future at Barcelona. So don't worry about Tony Fernandez. Tony Fernandez will get his moment and his time. So it's not the end all be all if Barcelona do not get Wirtz or Musiala. If they don't, then that's fine. If Barcelona end up just saving their money like you said, like you want them to, that's fine because they can use that money and those resources towards a world class striker, another position that Barcelona need to reinforce for sure. Because even though Lewandowski, yes, continues to score, and I'm very proud of Lewandowski because he still does something for Barcelona, I do think that Barcelona can get much better with a more dynamic, mobile, high energy striker. So that is going to be my input. Moving on towards Christian's. I was about to call you Christensen because I'm so used to calling you Christensen. But moving on towards Christian's question. And he asked, this isn't exactly a question for Barcelona, but I'm genuinely curious what made you want to watch football and support Barcelona and not other teams from the Premier League or Real Madrid. We all have an inspiration as to why we even watch the game itself and why we support the clubs that we love, because it took me until 2021 to finally love football. I picked Barcelona because I know my family supported and I wanted to know what the hype was about. This was at the time when the club was down bad too, LOL. But I loved the passion and ambitions this club and fan base has. I'm just curious of your emergence for the sport. Thanks, Unk. Okay, very good question. I'm gonna give you guys my backstory about how I started supporting FC Barcelona. So to put it very simple, bro, like I went to LA. There's one time when I was 10 or 11 years old back in 2009. Yeah, I was 11 years old, and I was going with my father. So we went to LA, and to be honest, I don't have a very visual picture of that whole trip. I just remember like little glimpses, but those little glimpses was me going to La Pulga. I don't know if you guys know what La Pulga is, but it's basically the flea market. And when I was going at the flea market, I saw a lot of people wearing red and blue shirts, and I'm like, why is everybody wearing red and blue shirts? What's going on? Like it was half red, half blue, right? You guys know the 2008, 2009 kit, and I'm just like what's going on? Like why is everybody wearing the same shirt? Because I was still very new to that sport, and I was just coming off of playing basketball because basketball was my main sport. But then I started to realize that there was a team called FC Barcelona that were playing today, which was a final against Manchester United. and some minutes and hours went on. I don't exactly remember the process of this whole thing, but we eventually got into like this little store, and I saw like a little TV, like a very small TV. I would just say it's like this big. And I was just there watching with my dad. And my dad was like, we'll just stay here for like, I guess 30, 35 minutes. Again, I don't remember like every exact detail, but moral of the story is that me and my father wanted to watch the game, and I said, okay, fine. We watched it on a small TV. We were inside a little store where they sold stuff. I don't know if it was soccer jerseys. Once again, I don't remember. But the most important thing is that I saw eye to eye between me and the TV, and I started seeing Barcelona play. And I remember witnessing live Xavi Hernandez making a cross into the box that led towards Messi making that header goal. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? Like someone who was only like 5'5" or 5'6" was able to beat a defender that was like 6 feet. That was an amazing goal. It made me fall in love with Xavi Hernandez. It made me fall in love with Lionel Messi, especially. And I remember him taking off the shoe, kissing the shoe with Henry running in behind. I'm like, this is amazing, dude. I'm like, what is this? What is this sport? And so I started to understand the sport like rapidly, like fast, because I started watching more games. I started going on my phone and looking to see what this sport was all about. And I was like, Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, oh wow, Diego Milito, who's this striker? And just all these other players at that time that really did interest me. It was amazing. I would even go as far as to say that from that point, once I started to know about FC Barcelona and what type of players they had, for a brief moment there, after that moment, for the next 2 or 3 months, I started going on the laptop and started looking at Ronaldinho highlights, and I'm like, wow, this guy is so magical, so cool. I want to do this. I want to start playing soccer, and so I did start playing soccer from that point. So so like 3 months after that event, when I first started watching Barcelona, all I did was watch highlights of Ronaldinho, or sometimes I saw highlights of Ronaldo when he was playing at Manchester United at that time, because I liked the tricks that they were doing. It was so cool. And that's what led towards my obsession with football in general. And so as time went by through 2000 and it was like 2009, 10, and 11, I started to love Barcelona more and more because they got even better. So unlike you, bro, like you started supporting Barcelona in 2021. I would have never done that if I was 11. I would have been like, this team freaking sucks. I'll support whoever's good at that moment. But fortunately for me, I started watching football when Barcelona were really, really freaking good. And I remember I was like, who's this bald manager coach? Like, who is this? And then it was Pep Guardiola. So I was like, damn, like this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy really knows how to unify a team. And then from there, like just my obsession with Barcelona grew. Like Messi was doing all of these amazing like plays and going through players left and right. It almost seemed unreal. It almost seemed fake to me because I've never seen somebody play so good. Like he was always able to dribble through 9 to 10 different players on the pitch with ease. Like the ball was stuck to his feet at high speed. At high speed, he was running at full speed with the ball stuck to his feet, and no one could take the ball away from him. So I would say that if it also wasn't for Messi, I probably would not have the same obsession I have for Barcelona today. I would admit that if it wasn't for Messi. Messi played a huge important part on why I fell in love with the sport and with Barcelona for sure. And so yeah, I would also say that between 2009 all the way until 2014, me and my father were always watching Barcelona games every Saturday, every Sunday, religiously. Like that was like our religion, was watching Barcelona every weekend without missing a game. And we're just watching it together. We just talk about the games, how Barcelona played, and this and that. So I would say that my father played a huge important role on why this channel even existed. It is because of him. And I remember also, I think this is where I would say my journalism skills come from, right? Because I would say that what I'm doing here is journalism, I guess, or reporting, or I guess an analyzer. I don't even know am I a YouTuber? I have no idea who I am. But anyways, I'm something within those realms. But having these type of skills to talk about the sport in Barcelona and football in general did come from me listening to the radio on in my dad's work truck, because also in the summer I used to go work with my dad at the age of 14 years old, and we used to always drive to San Francisco for like a travel time of like 30 to 35 minutes because there was always traffic. But in those like 35 minutes, I always used to listen to Jorge Ramos. I don't know if that's his name. I don't know if I'm getting that wrong all right? But I always used to listen to them. It was always very interesting, like their insights. And I like the fact that they were always able to talk about football and how they thought about Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar and Suarez at that time, right? Ramos, Pepe, Marcelo, Di Maria, Ozil. It was very fascinating to me, very insightful. And so once again, my father playing a huge important role on how I started developing these skills. It's funny because we did not do this intentionally. Like we were never intentional about, okay, we're going to be watching Barcelona every weekend. We're going to be listening to these reporters so you can be good at this skill at some point in the future. It was not intentional whatsoever. All of this came on accident, bro. Like this whole thing was one big accident, if you really think about it. Now I'm just trying to bring more purpose to this because I'm like, okay, if I got these skills like 15 years ago, might as well just use it for something cool where we can all unify together and bring this whole Barcelona family into like one on this YouTube channel. So if you guys are wondering why this channel even existed, why we're all together in the first place, go thank my father, Mario Cortez. He's the reason why all of this does exist. So yeah, that's basically my backstory on this whole thing. Pretty cool. So now we have our next question coming from Darkness PG 3D, and he has asked, realistically, how many trophies do you think we will win this season, and how will we win it? In terms of like how we will win it, I don't know what that exactly means because I'm not from the future, so I don't know how, bro. I don't know how. Like I don't know how we're gonna win it. But in terms of how many trophies we could win this season, I would say that we have the capability to win three. Okay, like I do think that there's a really good chance that we can win three, and I say that because we already won the Spanish Super Cup, so we already have one. There's two more that I do think that we could win out of the other competitions that we're in right now, which is La Liga, the Champions League, and the Copa del Rey. I do think that we can win two out of those three. I just don't know which two of those trophies are going to come out from those three. I really don't know, but I do think it'll be two because there is a really big possibility that we can win La Liga because we're 4 points behind Real Madrid, and Madrid do have very tough competitions coming up. Very tough. A lot of away games. And then we also have the ability to really show up in Champions League matches. For some reason, we just play like prime Barcelona in Champions League games. I guess this is part of the Hansi Flick effect, but there is a really big possibility that we can win the Champions League. And then we talk about the Copa del Rey, which is a trophy that is very much manageable for Barcelona, and always like Barcelona have a history of winning the Copa del Rey. So I do think, and I'm going to say this here now, that Barcelona can finish off this season winning 3 trophies. I just cannot be comfortable telling you guys like these are going to be the 3 trophies exactly that we will be winning. One of them for sure is the Spanish Super Cup because we have already won it. I just don't know who the other 2 is going to be. Ideally for me, I would like to see the Champions League and La Liga. If we win the Champions League, La Liga, and the Spanish Super Cup, extend Hansi Flick for another 3 seasons, have Rafinha win the Ballon d'Oro. Lamine Yamal is for sure the best winger of all time. I want all those claims, all those statements, all those trophies, and I want all the extensions to go on. And if we win those competitions, bring me Musiala now. If we win the Champions League and La Liga and the Spanish Super Cup, 3 trophies, bring me Musiala now because of all the prize money that we won. And we're going to be looking like one of the best team in the world, and the best players in the world are going to want to come to us. So I will be demanding a lot, and I will start a freaking agenda. I will start a movement to bring in either Florian Wirtz or Musiala this summer. I don't want to hear anything. And if not, then we're going to force the move of Erling Haaland. Screw his 9-year to 10-year contract with Man City. We need big players now to happen in the summer if Barcelona end up claiming 3 trophies this season. And I do think there's a great chance that Barcelona can do that. So that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.